test, thinking yourself worthy of invading my world. Walk carefully then through this third challenge, and take heed your final decision is truly what you desire. For the course of destiny cannot be turned once set in motion. Until our next meeting, mortals.
Whew, this thing's got plot. Okay, so I'll get started in a few minutes, like 5-10 minutes I'll get started, but I figure why not? Let's just jump into it. Third Might and Magic game. I've played maybe an hour of the first and second one, and they weren't really for me. I liked what they did, but not enough to play them all the way through, at least not right now. Maybe later, maybe I'll come back to them and actually beat them, but for right now, we're just getting a taste. We're just, this is a sample platter of Might and Magic, just to see what the franchise is about, what they have to offer. Because it's all new to me. So this game actually has some music, some sounds, I just tinkered with it for 2 minutes earlier just to make sure it all works, and this is actually a game. This is where Might and Magic is, you don't have to use your imagination so much, you can actually tell what things are when you look at them. The second game was a big improvement, right? But the third game is, wow, it's a whole different thing. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna take the earpiece out. I'm gonna get some water, get all prepared to get into this. And I'm gonna give it about 5 or 10 minutes, just see if anybody pops in. We're just gonna leave it right here on the copyright screen until I'm ready to get going. I always like to make sure that I give people a little time, because I don't announce anything. I'm bad about that. But since I don't announce when I'm streaming, I like to give a couple minutes just so people kind of, so they have a chance, right, to hop on in. Anyway, getting me some water. I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, I'm back. Looks like I didn't miss anything. Let's see. Is Twitch streaming okay? Is all good on that front? Looks like it. Okay, well, I'm gonna give it about 5 or 10 more minutes. I know it's entirely my fault for not informing people in advance of when I'm gonna stream. I know, bad, my bad. And instead of water, decided to go with some Sunny Delight. This stuff, it's not really healthy for you. It's it's basically just water and fiber. It's like the same stuff that's in soda is in Sunny Delight. It's really not it's like 5% actual juice. It's not good for you. It's really not. But I do like the way it tastes. I really like the way that it tastes. So I'll have to get some real juice one of these days, or apple cider or something. But it's good stuff. That the pre-stream banter where I just kind of fill some air and talk about nothing. While to myself, that's the best part. To myself. Oh right, actually, there is something I could do while it's on my mind, right? Yeah, hold on, un momento. Let's see. Let me just switch over to another screen here. There is one thing I can do here. So, taking the DOS screen down for a second. There's my other screen, which is also my desktop. I get such a kick out of this. It's an in-joke with myself. It's weird, but I get such a kick out of that screen. I use it as my desktop now too. So okay, I just let's see. Might as well make some kind of announcement, right? Alright, I figure I might as well make a little bit of an announcement, even if it's on a, a dead and or dying forum. It's still, it's my home, so let's just get out of that, and let's get the DOS screen back up. Enough silliness. Time to get serious. But yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until at least someone is in here. Yeah, I made a little bit of an announcement, and probably an announcement to no one as well. Man, it's like my stream is like a niche of a niche. It's great. So I guess while we're kind of in pre-stream time here, right? While I wait for anyone to show up, pre-stream talk, I guess. What to talk about? Well, let's see. There is the matter of the other games that I should be playing, like Dead Space, right? I got to chapter 4, I think. I think I got up to chapter 4 of Dead Space, and Yeah, I guess I should continue that, right? But I don't know, like, maybe it's bad timing on my part. Like, maybe I just have really bad timing with my streams, or again, it's because I don't announce anything, but either way, the Dead Space streams, like, the most I ever got was, like, 1 or 2 people watching it. And as much fun as I was having with Dead Space, the thing is that I've played Dead Space, like, 3 times through, and I love the game, but, like, I've played it enough for myself, you know? The whole point was to kind of play and share it with other people, and if there's really no one tuning in for it, like, you know, there's only 1 or 2 people tuning in, I might as well just kind of hold it off for later. Like, I don't know, if it's not doing well, I might as well just hold it off for later. I want to do it eventually. I'm not one of those types of people. It's like, oh, no, if I can't make that, you know, that internet money off of it, what's the point? No, not like that. But I want to. The whole point is I want to share it with other people, and if no one's watching it, like in particular, if no one's watching Dead Space, then there's not really a lot of point to it. There's not any point for me to go through the motions with that, because I've played Dead Space so much. Like it's one of my favorite horror games. I don't need to play it again for myself. So, anyone wondering about that, that's why I'm not doing Dead Space for a while. When I eventually do it again, like maybe when I get a slightly bigger following, and maybe when I start like broadcasting when I'm going to stream, and you know, maybe when I get that down, right? And so I have some kind of guaranteed audience, then I'll pick Dead Space back up again. I definitely want to go back to it, but for right now it's on hold, and actually when I do eventually get back to it, I'm going to start from the beginning again. I hadn't really gotten that far into it to begin with. Like, I was only on chapter 4, I believe, which is, there's 12 chapters in the game, so I wasn't even halfway through with it, so, you know, it's not going to be not a lot lost, right? But that's the status of that. And then, of course, there's also King's Quest Mask of Eternity, which, I hate to say it, but King's Quest Mask of Eternity has so many technical issues. It's like, I really do struggle just to play the game even. Like, the thing is there are certain sections of the game where the game will just bug out, and there's no way to fix it on stream. So the only thing I can do is play through that section off camera, and then come back. And I have to be honest, is that it's a lot of hassle and a lot of tedium, because that's not even getting into the tedium of the actual game. And I have to be honest, I want to finish it, right? I want to finish the game, and I will finish it eventually, but just getting the energy to even play that thing is a problem, okay? So just know that it's not a Dead Space situation where, like, it's on, you know, indefinite hiatus. No, it's just I need to get the energy to play that game, because it's a tedious game in the first place, and in the second place it has so many bugs and glitches that I can't even fix on camera. I have to go, you know. So it's just, I'll get to it, but I'd rather do something fun instead, you know. That's what that is. Anyway. Ooh. That's a lot of pre-stream banter. Yeah, I've been pre-stream bantering for like 20 minutes. So let's just do it. Let's just start. So I'm gonna start a new game. And you might notice there are sound effects. There are actually like, there's music, there's sound effects, the graphics, you know, they're not great, but they're there. Now, the second game had graphics as well, and it had a little bit more, you know, sound than the first game, but it was 1989. It was still that era where, you know, music in a computer game, what are you doing, right? Now, this came out in 1991, and in 1991, it was kind of expected that, like, look, games need to have music, they need to have sound, they need to look like something. So, basically, the 80s, like, if I had to put, like, if I had to kind of like give it an era, right? In terms of like computer games and even some console games, the 80s were the age of, like, it was the age of the monochrome display. It was the age of, you're looking at a black screen with white text on it, and that's the game, right? It was the era of, basically, graphics didn't really exist. Like, everything that you saw was kind of generated, like, it was kind of almost raw code, what you were looking at, so yeah, like, in the 80s, as far as gaming goes, it was the era of no graphics, essentially. Like, all the graphics that you saw were just kind of a simulation of graphics, rather than actual graphics on your screen. Now, again, there were some things, like, in the, towards the end of the 80s, where it had actual graphics, but for the most part, it was that era. In the 90s is when you get onto things like this, where there's graphics, there's sound, there's music, it's minimal, it's very minimalistic, but it's there. And I like this era the most. I want to play, like, I really do. I really want to play games from the 80s and get into it, like the first Might and Magic. I want to get into that so bad, because it's interesting. There's a lot going on. But it's so difficult to get into it, because it's barely a game, if that makes sense. It's like those old TI-83 calculators that, at least back in my day, you could program them. And so, of course, like, what would we do? We'd program games on them. Like, that's all I did. Like, when I was in math class, instead of actually doing math on that TI-83, I was programming games on it. Like, I was putting, I'd made, like, tons of text adventures and RPGs and stuff like that. And it's just, that kind of, like that kind of thing, like what you do with, like, TI-83 calculators back in the day, that was gaming in the 80s, and it's very minimal, and the only reason you do it is because there's nothing better around. I think the 90s is when games started really coming into their own, and they actually looked like something, right? Like, they weren't just text on a black screen. It was something. You were playing something. Something was happening on the screen. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, and we need to name this game. Let's get into it. So this is the Isles of Terra. The subtitle for that. So look, already you'll notice a lot of differences in the interface, right? Like, I mean, okay, the game screen, right? Like, the game screen... Oh, look, 40 winks, that's where we came out of. So, right, here's the thing. Like, the game screen looks a lot like it did in the second game. And, and that looked like an upgraded version of the first game. Nothing new there. But what you'll immediately notice is, look down here. You can see all of my characters in my party, which, this is just like... This is just your party. They just start you off with a party. But yeah, like, so there's graphics, like, you can actually see your characters now. And oh my god, you can use the mouse. Like, it seems such a... Like, you don't really think about it these days, I mean, of course a game uses a mouse, right? I mean, hell, a lot of games on PC, they use controllers and joysticks, and, you got all kinds of peripherals now. But no, like, back in the day, a lot of games only used, in the 80s, like, most games only used a keyboard, because computers didn't really have mice. So we're getting out of that era now, and now, the third Might and Magic game, it's 1991, it's the era of the mouse and graphic interface, so yeah, what you're looking at right here, this is all the same basic information as in the first game, except, man, yeah, like, that green... That light green on light brown background, that doesn't feel good to look at. But anyhow, you see, look, like, everything is much more visual, right? Yeah, and look, you can click on things and you get like a little... Yeah, see, look at that. Isn't that nice, right? Yeah, like, you can click on things and get a little extra info. and this is a big change. I noticed it, like, I only played this game for like 2 minutes before I started up the stream. So I'm not an expert, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know what I see, right? I know the difference in what I see, and what I see is that this game, it honestly fixes a lot of the problems that I had with the first two games. Like, okay, here's the thing, right? The first two games, you know, my first problem was that graphically they didn't have graphics. The second game had a little graphics, but not really enough to convey properly what was going on the screen. This game actually conveys, like, the graphics actually convey what's happening, what's supposed to be happening. So that's my first problem fixed. Second problem I had was that there was no sound, no music, no nothing. Nothing to get you in the mood, to get you in the atmosphere, right? Well, listen right now. This game has music, it has sound, so that's the second problem I had fixed. And then the third problem that I had was that nothing was explained in the game, right? In the first two games, you would have a bunch of commands that you could activate to, you know, to do things, but you didn't really know what you were doing. There was no way to know what you were doing. But in this game, you can kind of click on things, and they'll explain what it is that they do. Also, check this out. Let's see, I think it's this one right here. Oh, look at this. You got notes, right? Yeah, look at this. You have a journal. You have a quest notes. Like, you can just click that, and it gives you a little note about the area. It gives you a note about your current quest. So you're never lost as far as, like, what am I even doing, right? And then, oh, look at this. We've got spells, right? Yeah, see, this is the cool thing, right? You can click on people, you can right-click on them, and you can see their spells, right? Yeah, see, isn't that kind of cool? Like, you can click on them, and you can see what their spells are. And if you want to say, see, look, you can click this button to cast, and this says new, right? So let's click on new, and look at that! Look at that! So now you can see for this guy right here, for Castor, you can see that he has Light, Awaken, Detect Magic, and Elemental Arrow. There's no guesswork anymore. Like, you don't have to open up a manual and, you know, ponder through pages after pages of, you know, like okay, here's, you know, punch in number 1, you know, I want to cast level 1, number 4. There's none of that. I mean, it's the same information. Like, if you look at this, like, this is number 4, it's level 1, it's the same basic information. But the difference is that it's all right here in the game. You don't have to ponder through the manuals anymore to figure out what you're even doing, and that's a huge upgrade. So, I don't know, like this. Oh, and also there's another one. There's another really big feature that I love. Check this out. Oh yeah, look at that. See, we are in Fountainhead, and it gives me a coordinate of where I am. And this is an actual map that not only tells me it not only tells me, like, you know, where I'm going, but where I am as well. Which, like, if I go here... Oh, yeah, see, look at that. See this red X right here? That's me. So the thing is not only do I have a map now in the game, but it actually tells me where I am in the game. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. Now, the map is still not perfect. Like, nothing is detailed, right? Like, it doesn't really, you know, there's very little detail in the map, but it still tells me where I am and what the layout of the area is. So that's huge. So I don't know, like, I know that I'm kind of talking a lot without really doing anything yet, but I'm marveling at how much different this game is than the first two games. And yet, it's still the same game. It's still... Like, again, this screen right here, like the layout that you're looking at right here, it's essentially the exact same layout as in the previous games. You know, in the previous games, you have the big gameplay window, and then over to the right, you have the commands, which in this game, instead of being you know, a list of text commands, it's just buttons that you can click, which is far more visually, aesthetically pleasing and easier to navigate. You know, and on the bottom, you always had your party and their stats. Same deal, you got your party and their stats, but in this game, it's a visual picture, and you see their, you know, their little bar there, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just, I don't know, this game, it's the same game as Might and Magic 1 and 2, but it's improved, and I'm feeling a lot of admiration for this series, even though I've barely scratched the surface of it. But this is like how I feel sequels should be, right? Like, a sequel should take everything that people love and want about, you know, the first game, and then build on it. You know, you do everything that the first game did, but you do it better this time. And that's what a sequel should be, is it should be everything that you did before, but better. Because like, here's the thing, right? If you make a sequel and it's completely different from the first one, you could say, well, oh, that's innovation, right? Well, sure. But the thing is it's a different game now. It's not really a continuation of the first game. It's a whole different thing now. You might as well put you might as well slap a different label on it and call it a different franchise if it's so different. And, you know, a lot of franchises, as they sequel on, they kind of get worse too, or they'll strip features out. I'm looking at The Sims. I'm looking at The Sims 4. I'm looking right at you, right? You know, a lot of sequels, you know, they decide to streamline things, strip features out, and I have to be honest, that's not how it should work, right? Like, how it should work is when you make a sequel, like when you make a continuation of a game series, it should do everything from the first game, but better this time. You know, doesn't have to be a lot better, but it should be everything from before, you know, like all the general kind of content that you liked before, but better. And I just feel like if more franchises kind of followed that, games might be a little bit better these days. But anyway, as it relates to Might and Magic, the first two games, like, I saw a marked improvement from the first to the second game, but it was still the same game, and now it's like, man, the improvement from the second one is insane, but it's still the same game, and that's good. Anyway, let's actually play this thing, right? I've done enough nerding. I've done enough just kind of geeking out about video games and you know, the whole culture of the sequel, right? I've done enough of that. Let's just kind of get into things. It's looking like this is going to be another one of those streams where not really anyone shows up, and that's totally understandable. 100% understandable, given the nature of this game. So, here's the thing, right? Like, what do I do? Well, let's go into the 40 Winks. Oh, look at that animation! Like, this is proper animation. Will you be signing the register? Oh! I just hit the nay button. And he gives me the look and kicks my ass out. I love that. Okay, so, where am I? Let's look around. We got some fountains. Let's look at the map. Okay, well, let's go off the beaten path. This is an interesting looking fountain right here. Ooh. Green ooze surges in the fountain bowl. Throw a coin. I don't think I will. Okay, so I can just walk through that. You can just walk through the fountains. That's good to know, I guess. Yes, that's good to know. That you can do that, right? So, are they all oozing... Are they all filled with gack? Because that's... Like, look, when I hear green ooze, I think gack. So, it looks like all the fountains are filled with green ooze, and, Okay, well, let's look around, right? Okay, so this is the town gates, and that leaves Fountainhead. We don't want to leave. Okay, that's the training grounds, which, you know, training grounds sounds like something I might be able to use, right? I might be able to make some use of the training grounds. Ooh, I like this. Graphics. Okay, so the ground shakes with the thunder of hooves as horsemen practice swordplay in mock cavalry campaigns. The master-at-arms yells above the clamor, "Do ya seek trainin'?" I gotta... Oh, hold on. I need to come up with a, like, what accent? Do you seek training? That's good enough. I guess I got it right the first time. There's not a whole lot to infer from that accent. Although I kind of imagine the merchant from Resident Evil 4. I kind of imagine that voice, but I can't quite do that voice. Can't quite pull that off yet. Anyway, do I seek training? I don't know. Do I need training? Sure. Oh, I see. So, if I want to level up, so this is how you level up, right? So if you want to level up, you have to get the EXP, and you have to pay the gold. Wow. So there's a tax for leveling up. That's that's something, right? Okay, that's the town gates. Well, let's explore. Is this town? Oh my God! What is this? It's a bubble man. This is a bubble man. What is this thing? Okay, okay, let's combat the bubble man. I guess we killed him. Yeah, I guess the bubble man is dead. Well, that wasn't so bad. But I noticed some people are injured. So let's cast some spells, right? Who's our healer? That's what I'm curious to know, is who is our healer? I'd imagine it's one of these guys. Resurrectra. Okay, I assume Resurrectra is our healer, right? Yeah, she's our healer, so I want to cast First Aid. And I want to cast it on this guy. Alright, that's how you do spells. First Aid on this guy. There we go. Everyone is healed up to the full. Excellent. It's the Ravens Guild. Okay, there's a fountain here, which it oozes with green, of course. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's see, okay, I'm digging this, right? Like, this is something I'm already, like, this is a huge improvement over the first two games. Like, here's the thing. In the first two games, how it worked was, you would basically just wander around, and then you just get a random encounter. Like, you'd just be walking around, and then all of a sudden, bam, monster just pops up, and it's time to fight. In this game, you can kind of see the monsters coming, which is, that's interesting. That's actually really interesting that you can see the monsters. Oh, damn, look at that. There's two monsters right there. I guess I don't want to open that up, do I? I also, this is something I like. There's monsters in town. Because we're in town right now. Like, this isn't, you know, this isn't like we're not in a dungeon right now. This is a town, and I love that there are just monsters all over the place in this town. Okay, we want to go. Does it tell me my heading? Alright, it doesn't really tell me my heading, which I don't like. Like, I'm just looking around to see if there's any sort of heading, and I don't really see that. Oh, look! This is nice. Mr. Wizard! Oh, goodness. Okay, so, the only thing I don't like, and this is actually something that they changed in, like, in the second game, they kind of, yeah, in the second game, they would tell you what direction that you're facing. I kinda don't like that they don't tell you what direction you're facing anymore. That's, Okay, he wants materials. I guess we'll give him the money, right? Okay, did he not have the money? Well, he's got the money, right? Oh, look at this place. Ooh, I like the music in it, too. It's amazing just what adding some music can do for a game, right? Because the first two games, Yeah, like the music was there was none. There was no music at all. There was barely any sound effects either. But when you just add some music to the scene, it really does it makes it come alive, right? So that's interesting. So let's get out of there. Let's keep exploring. Ooh, what's this say? Ye faithful subjects of King Righteous, deliver the ultimate power orbs to Castle Whiteshield. Well, okay. How do I do that? I don't know. Zahab's Vaults. What kind of place is this? Oh, okay, so it's a bank. So it's a bank that I can put gold. Okay, that's interesting. Odd jobs. Oh, I guess we'll labor, right? Okay, hold on. Is this like... Okay, we have 3,000 gold. I get it now. So okay, so you go to that guy and you generate gold, but he keeps you for a week, so... Now, you might be saying, like, what was that? Like, why does it matter how long? Well, it matters because characters have an age, right? Yeah, see, this is the thing. Characters have an age, and they can get old and die, so... So yeah, I guess you don't really want to waste too much time working, right? Okay, can we bash this thing in? Oh yeah, we can! And it just starts attacking. That is a big rat. That is a big rat. What do I want to do? I guess we should cast a spell, right? Let's cast Elemental Arrow. Sounds good. Let's cast that. Oh, we can pick an element. Well, fire. I like fire. Let's get a little graphic. Okay, let's attack. Wait, did they kill him? Oh, damn. Knocked him right unconscious. Okay, we bring him back, and now he can cast a spell, right? Yeah, he can cast more Elemental Arrow. Let's try electricity. Or how about acid? Okay, that hurt him a lot. Alright. So let's keep... There we go. There we go. So we killed it. I guess we got EXP, I guess. How do I check that? Like, is there a way to check things, right? Okay, we don't want to dismiss anyone. That's not what we want to do. Interesting, today is one's day. Okay, what can I do though? Quick reference chart. Okay, I guess there's no search button because, well, this game is much more visually stimulating, so... Oh, look at that. Look at that. See, you can see where all the enemies are. I like that. I really like that. There's a lot of enemies though, and yeah, see, look, they're chasing me. Let's do it. Let's fight the moose rat. I have to be honest, it's kind of hard to see that text because it's light green on light brown. It just Okay, let's cast some acid. Alright, just attack. Cast. Not enough points, so he's worthless to me now. Great. Okay, killed that. I assume we're getting EXP, right? Yeah, we are. We're getting EXP for that. Okay. Alright. Oh, goodness. Oh, what even just happened? Let's attack. All we can really do is attack, so the healer is down, so I'm clicking. Yeah, the healer is down right now, so... Are we gonna... Okay, didn't get killed by the rat. What's this? Oh, a pit with a cavern. No, we don't want to go down there just yet. Let's bash this open. Oh, look, bashing that open, it hurt them. So what's over here? Skull Miser. Okay, so he wants silver skulls, okay. Let's bash this open. Wow, bashing that open killed them. Well then! Ooh! Wow. So it's nice to see, right? It's nice to see that the difficulty curve is still just as high as ever, right? Yeah, the difficulty curve for Might and Magic, it is just as high as ever, and I couldn't be happier. So, I think that's a good, man, that's a good place to leave it off at. That is a good place to leave it off at. So, okay, what are my thoughts, right? The thoughts on Might and Magic 3. Well, I don't know. It's certainly... I like it... do I like it more than the other ones? And I have to be honest. If I have to be very honest, I find that this game is more enjoyable to actually play, right? Like, I find myself actually enjoying this game much more just because it has visuals, it has music. This game is actually a game, right? At the same time, if I may be honest, I think that it loses a little bit of that charm that the first Might and Magic had. The first two games, were so incredibly minimalist, right? They had almost no graphics, they had no music, barely any sound effects. You know, those games, and the fact that you had to pop open the clue book and the manual, and you know, like every time you wanted to cast a spell, you have to punch in the reference number in the manual, and you know, if you wanted to know where you were, you had to draw a map on some graph paper. I mean, man, that kind of game, there's a certain charm to it. There is a certain charm to that kind of bare minimalist game, and you know, with this game, even though this game is an improvement by all accounts, this is an improvement on the Might and Magic formula, but it's just, it loses that kind of simplistic charm as the games get more complicated and more robust. They lose that kind of minimalist charm that they had early on, and that's a shame. I mean, it's a shame, but at the same time, you know, the games are better. Like this, I think Might and Magic 3 is better than Might and Magic 1 and 2. It's much more fun to play, and it hasn't sacrificed anything. It's just as complicated as ever. But because it's much more user-friendly, it just kind of... It doesn't feel like I'm you know, an archaeologist digging through this ancient game, right? It doesn't feel like I'm exploring some kind of new... No, it just feels like I'm playing a really old RPG, but like something that's comparable to modern RPGs. And I don't know. Like, as they get more complex, as they get more... not more complex, but as they get more user-friendly and, you know, cinematic maybe is even the word, they just lose that simple, you know, that simple monochrome Apple II charm, right? They lose that. I don't know. But that's all for right now. That's all for right now. It's a shame no one showed. It's a shame no one showed up. But that's what archives are for. So, anyone watching this at a later date and time, thanks. Okay, so that's enough. Am I gonna move on to Might and Magic 4 next time? Maybe. Maybe. I might move on to Might and Magic 4, I might not. I mean, I'm eventually going to move on to it, but I do want to play something else eventually. So we'll see. We'll see how things go down, right? Anyway, see y'all next time.